thought it would be cool to go through my camp and show how I did these setups so we know what knots that I use for this stuff. So one of the first things when we're walking through is my bag's hanging from this. So really what you need, there's two things you need. You need to hook the cord to the tree, then you need some way to fasten something to hang your bag. I've got a carabiner here, but you can use a stick. I've done that in another video. Just tie it on the same way as the carabiner and hold it over. So I'm going to take my bag down. We'll just re-hang it so we can see how I went about doing that. Okay, so one of the most important things is how you get the rope fastened to the tree. Now, if you don't want to learn any big knots, you can just use an overhand knot for this. It's no big deal. It's not something that's like mission critical, so it doesn't matter. So you can just take and put the rope around the tree and just regular old, just like a shoestring. And then on the last one, you know, you can put it back over, boom. There you've got a good enough knot. And that'll actually work. You can also do a slip knot, and slip knots tend to slip. So what you'd want to do, you get this around here, and you know, everybody knows tie a slip knot. You just take it, tie it around this way. So you make this knot over and through, and tie it like that, then you've got a slip knot. Well, let's come in here and do it again. So if you come around the tree, then you've got this piece here. You pretty much just wrap it over and then through, then this becomes like the shoestring knot. There you go. And when you pull on this, it'll get tighter. One of the problems with these is they slip. So what you can do is what they call a jam knot, which is just this rope slides through there. So all you do then is you take this, make a loop, and tie another one of those overhand knots in there. And what that does is make a stopper. So no matter what you do with this, it's too big to go through the hole, right? So those are, that's also, you can tie it up the way I just did, or you can do what they call a Canadian jam knot, and I'll show you that one. It's a slang term, it's just a slip knot. Okay, so what you do is you take your rope and you make that loop, fold it through, and pull, right? Then you do the same thing again, except you don't pull it. And that's an easy way to get that knot tied. So then you come around, and you usually do this when you've got a shorter lead of rope, but you can make the knot pretty big. Stick your knot through. So you've got your excess cordage comes all the way through. And then when you pull it tight, it does the same thing we just tied. And you can use it to ratchet down. You can make it super tight. So you can pull it out this way and then get down, or you can get a stick and toggle in and pull down. So if you want to tie something like a tripod super tight, that's a good knot to do. To get it loose, you just take this and pull the back out, and then that takes all the tension off of it. Then you can unknot it. But what's really popular now is a bowline knot. And the bowline knot's what I had on there when I first did it. I didn't do a bowline knot first because I thought they were difficult to tie, but they're not. Let's look at this. We're going to take the end we want to loop, and we're going to make a loop backwards. So now what we've got is this comes this way, right? We just fold it down and push some of that rope through, right? And then we're going to take this, we're going to put it through and fold it back. So this becomes our loop. So now we've got this loop. Hold the two pieces together and pull this down. Boom. We've got a bowline. And the rope goes up. So again, that is make the loop, fold it over, take the tag end, put the tag end through, and pinch it against your rope here, pull down. That's your bowline knot. So if you do that, you can just pull the cord through here, or you can take a stick as a toggle, put it right here. And then when you want to undo it, pull the stick out, boom, comes out. And that's the way I had it tied up. If this is too difficult, there's another way to tie this very same knot. You could try it that way. So you make your loop here. You take this through, wrap it around the rope that's hanging down, and pull it right back out where it came from. Then you pull that down, and that cinches your knot. So you take it, put it through here, around the knot, or around the running line, and back out. Hold it together. And that's what we're looking for, that cinch around that knot. So that's another way to tie the bowline. You can do the same thing with an Inuit bowline, which is a little bit easier to tie. So you make a loop, you put this through it, right? So then you pull this up. What we're going to do with this tag end is take it around and wrap it underneath of the loop. And that is called an Inuit bowline. I'll try to, is it in my hands? Okay. So take the loop. We take this through the loop. Just put it out there, right? Then we're going to pull it around the back, over this rope, and under the loop. And you pull that. And that's an Inuit bowline. It's very good. So all that stuff's the same way. And you can put it around the tree. Usually I don't use such long rope for this, but I didn't want to cut it. So you just pull your excess through, no biggie. And now this is stuck to the tree, hup, 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 right? So now what we want to do is tie something to it, either a stick or a carabiner. So we're going to use a marlin spike hitch. It's super, super simple. All you do is make a loop, fold it up, and pull the piece through. I noticed my hands were in the way, so let me do this way. You make a loop, fold it up, and pull that loop through. Now whatever you stick in here is going to get hitched. So what we're going to stick in there is the carabiner. And then when you pull it, that gets hitched. You can put a stick through there, samesies. Okay? Then I just hang the bag onto my clip. Now, since I realized it was so much better, let me do the bowline from this way. So we take this, fold it down, pull that loop through, right? Take the tag end, fold it over on itself, pull it down, bowline knot. Do this. Make the loop, put the string through the back of the loop, fold it around this guy and back through the loop. And when you pull it, bowline. Loop, take it through, then you put it around the back of the rope, back out where it came from, pull, bowline. So that gives us several fixed loop knots. So the bowline, the Inuit bowline, and this is a running bowline because it's around through the cord so it can move. Those are fixed loop knots, which means, you know, you tie this slip knot and it'll get tighter, or you tie like a taut line hitch and you can put tension on it. Those move. This doesn't move. If it moves, you're in trouble because the knot's done. So we got a bowline to tie through around things. We've got the marlin spike hitch, which is super simple. Let's go over that one again from the back. Marlin spike hitch. You make a loop over the top, fold it, then the loop that comes through, that's your hitch. Right? Okay, great. So now moving right along, we've got my ridgeline. Let's see how I do a ridgeline. Okay, the bowline is cool because it's also what I use to tie to the first tree. So what you're going to need is some kind of toggle. You don't want it to be nasty breakable, but if it's sturdy at all, that's fine. This will be super easy to come up to speed on, as we already talked about a bowline. And a lot of my ridge lines, the line that I tie to start it with is a bowline. Most of them, if I know they're my ridge lines, they already have a bowline in them. This one just doesn't happen to right now because I used it for something else last time I was out. But again, it's super simple to tie up, so no big deal. This has a little bit of messy end, so I just want to make sure that's not what gets caught in there. And then you'll need your excess rope. So we tie this around, and we're going to make a loop. Okay, so we come around the tree with this, and we take our rope, the rope that's coming off, and put it through like this. So now we've got a loop, right? And see how it's caught inside that bowline? So you just stick this down, and when you pull it tight, it keeps it where from coming through. So now you've got a stick. You can pull it or crank it, or if you want, you can put it on this side, and when you pull on it, it just goes tenser. But the whole reason to do this is if you pull that toggle out, the thing just comes loose. So it's quick release. So again, take this, put it around whatever you're going to tie it to, take your rope and put it through and make a loop. Then we'll take this and pull it down. I like to come across the side and pull, but it's not necessary. So that's one side of our ridge line. This is what's called a taut tarp hitch. And for this one, you're going to want all the excess rope that you have together. So all you have to do is wrap it around the tree and just pull it, right? You're going to come underneath and put it over the top of your line. Now this makes you a ratchet. So now when you pull it, it's going to get super tight, right? When you come across this side after we've pulled it, push right there. You don't have to put any pressure on it. You don't have to push real hard. It's not going to go anywhere. I got a little knot in my rope. Okay. So again, you ratchet, ratchet, ratchet. Push it right there. Put the line over the other one like that, right? Just drape it over. So then you've got this loop. You reach under and grab this, pull it out, and up towards the tree. And it made that little cinch there, right? Let's do that again. So we crank it, push here, push it over the top, just pull a little bit of rope through, and push it up there. So for all intents and purposes, you're stuck right here, right? What you want to do now to make it a second bite so it's stronger is you take this rope, put it through the loop that's there, hold the knot, push on the knot, and when you pull this up, it's going to get tighter. So let's go over that whole thing again. Crank it down, grab it here, make the loop, pull it up, push it against the tree here, grab this. The best way to do this is go up again, the same direction towards the tree, and it makes another knot, right? Then you just want to make sure that's cinched up good. Okay, so now, same thing is you'll take a toggle and put in there. So you can ratchet this down. That's why it's so cool. You can make it tighter. But the same thing, you pull the toggle out, boom, and you're done. Quick release. That's great. So that's one way to tie this in. And you really want to do that if you know your ridge line's pretty much where you want it to be, and you don't need to adjust it. If you want to adjust it, a trucker's hitch is a lot. So pretty much, if you face the tree, you take the hand, roll it to make this loop here, right? And then pull this through. And it'll make a loop. That's what we're shooting for. Let me do that one more time. And you can pull it right back out. So let me come closer. You don't have to do it this way, but this is the way I like to. You just turn it and you've got this loop here. Take the loop, grab the rope, and pull through. And you want to get a loop through it. So now we've got this bobber loop, right? So you take your other end of the rope and feed it through this loop. So now you've got this pulley, so you can pull on it. That's a much better ratchet system than our other rope. And you can even just crank it tight. So if you don't know where you're going to go with your ridgeline, this is a pretty simple way to be able to crank her down. Usually you want to get it a little ways out. So when you finish this up, it's just like the taut tarp hitch. It's just like the taut tarp hitch. But you squeeze this line, right? See it? You want to squeeze it together right where this loop is. And all you got to do is pinch. But the rest of it's the same. Drape the line over, pull you a guy through, and pull it up, and now you've got a knot, right? So then you take another one, pull it through, and now you've got your quick release. You put your toggle in. When you want it all to come undone, it's just pulled. Then you let the rope back out. So again, the way to tighten that up when you're ready to tighten it off is you crank it down. You can either just pinch this or you can pinch the whole thing together. It doesn't matter. Drape the rope over and then pull some slack through to make a loop. Loop. Now it's got this knot here, so we're good to go. Then you take this and pull it through. And when this cinches down like you're pulling it out, it's going to make this loop. And then you pull the toggle through, and the toggle keeps it from going anywhere. You can leave it out without a toggle. No big deal. So that's how you do the trucker's hitch knot. Joe Robinette has a shirt for this. It's 2 on the inside and 1 on the outside. So what does that mean? Well, let's take the rope, put it around as if we were going to make a ridge line, and see how it crosses over? This is the inside. So you just wrap it around twice on the inside as if you were going to make a knot. Then you move to the outside, past this rope, outside. I've got one of these in my other video too. Okay, so this is, and then you dress it and you make it neat. And now what happens is once you pull this knot down, you've got a knot that you can pull and there's nothing happening to it, right? But you can adjust it, or if you want, you can put more tension on it. So if something's pulling here, it's not tight enough, you just slide that out and it becomes tight enough because it'll move, right? And this is how we use it for guy lines. So once you put pressure on it though, it's not gonna go anywhere. But if you wanna loosen it, you just push it in. And if you wanna tighten it, you just pull the knot out. And I'll tie that in front of the camera too. This was the one I learned before I learned the Bowline, because I just needed a quick way to tie off the Ridgeline. Okay, so we're gonna make a loop and wrap it. We'll wrap it twice on the inside and then once on the outside. Then we're going to dress it up, which just means pull the slack out of it and make sure it's smooth and not nasty. Okay, so then we've got our knot. We can pull it, push it, nothing happens when you pull on it. Taut line hitch. I mean, I tie stuff sometimes. When I come around, I'll take this and instead of tying it off, I'll just put that loop in it and then pull another loop through it. That way I can get it off easy and it's tied. So knowing that kind of thing is really cool. Fisherman's knot, I did in my last tarp video, but it's very simple. You take 2 pieces of rope, you take the one and tie it like a slip knot. So make the overhand knot in it. See, it's just a regular knot on the rope. You take the other side and you do the same thing. Just a regular knot on the rope. But then once you pull the tension out of these dudes, when you pull it together, now it's like a jam knot. So now you've just attached 2 pieces of rope together for whatever reason. So if you need a longer line for whatever, that's pretty good. And you can make it stronger by doing 2 or 3 wraps before you push it through. But I can't think of any other ones that I use. So there you go, Bushcraft Knot.